So the long-awaited South Jersey version of New Jersey Living is finally here. Now granted, we are along the shore, which is technically, this is a part of South Jersey. We're gonna have some other episodes and other locations in South Jersey, but we're going to initially do some of our recordings down here on the shore. First stop is Ocean Grove, New Jersey. So here in Ocean Grove, this is technically a part of Neptune Township, so it's under that municipality. But Ocean Grove is well known in the shore community because it is very, very distinct as a beach location. So behind me right here, we have the iconic Great Auditorium. So the Auditorium and the general area of Ocean Grove in general is all centered around a Methodist community that was established back in, I want to say 1869, which established a camp meeting, kind of a summer retreat, if you will, for a lot of Methodist families. So this would be that spot where they will come for the summer and have just a summer camp, if you will, that still has remnants until today. So the Auditorium, built in 1894, houses one of the largest organs in the world. But with that being said, it's not even the largest organ in New Jersey. That would be in Atlantic City on the boardwalk. But this is an ideal location to start our South Jersey journey because this, as I mentioned before, is a prime beach location. You're gonna catch a lot of footage here that explains why, even though we're in the midst of winter right now. And we're gonna get into a little history behind it before we jump into the market itself. So we're gonna flash a few scenes of where we are right now and some local footage along Main Street and of course around the tent area, and then let's jump into some details about the Ocean Grove market. Welcome to New Jersey Living. My name is Corey Jones, and I am team leader of the New Jersey Living Group and host of New Jersey Living, the podcast. We are welcoming you to join us on this journey to learn all things New Jersey. So whether it be the real estate market, the social dining scene, iconic locations, New Jersey Living covers it all. So come and join the journey. Be sure to click like, subscribe, notification bell to stay updated on content just like this that is coming your way. So today we are here, as I mentioned in the opening segment, in Ocean Grove, and just behind me, we are right step in front of one of the tents that is part of a larger camp community. So this is pretty much a community that has existed for, we're well over 150 years. 1869 is when this began. As I mentioned in the opening segment, the Auditorium, which is just to my right here, was built several years later, but 1869 is when this camp meeting community began. Today, 2024, this is still a vibrant and active community where there are residents who come here every year, all right, every year, and they reside in these tents. This is not an Airbnb. It is not for bookings.com if you're looking for a couple days to come down to the beach. These are for people who commit to an entire summer. Doesn't necessarily mean they live here for the entire summer, but they're spending substantial time here. So what we see with the framework behind me, this will actually be a canvas tent. So this tent would be set up and people will sometimes have their beds in there. Sometimes they just have furniture in there. They can choose to reside in the actual tent, or the structure you see behind me is the cabin. And the cabin is where there is the kitchen, there is a bathroom. Some people have a really upgraded scene inside where it is air conditioned and they have really more contemporary upgraded kitchen amenities. Others are kind of no frills, right? So they just like that old school getaway cabin camp feel. Depends on the preference. So in the summertime, and when I say summer, I mean relatively late spring into early fall, there will be canvas tents on all of these frames. As you see some of the footage of the general community, you can see nothing but wood frames right now, but that will be all covered with an actual tent. It's worth going online, just put into Google Ocean Grove, look up that any of the websites on the community. There is certainly requirements. You can't just say, hey, I want to rent 1 year. You have to actually submit an application. There's a wait list that's involved, there's interviews involved, and there are commitments to being a part of the community that are also required in being a resident in one of these tents. It's great if you are here in New Jersey and you are in the area. There are often free tours of the auditorium itself and these tent communities that gives you a lot of history and gives you a peek inside of a couple tents as well. So for today, we're gonna take a tour of those who've been watching. You know how my routine goes. We're gonna take a tour of some recent sales here in the community. We're not gonna look at broader Neptune in this episode because again, Ocean Grove is a part of Neptune, but we're gonna focus specifically on Ocean Grove. You're normally seeing what I call the big three in my episodes when we are Central New Jersey, North New Jersey. Big three being the three factors that drive demand in the real estate community here in New Jersey, and that being local train station, proximity to the city, and school ratings. Here on our beach episodes, the big three is different but very, very easy, and that's location, location, and location. It's about how close we are to the beach. Where I'm standing right now, I can see the beach from where I am right now. It's 5 to 7 minute walk depending on how quickly I'm moving down to the beach. So it's all about location. Ocean Grove meets all three of those check marks. Very much a community about either having that summer home, summer vacation, or if you are an investor, which we're going to touch on our final stop. So stick around for this final stop. If you are an investor and you're thinking about investment property with short-term rentals, this is a windfall type of community in terms of location. So we're going to focus strictly on those dynamics and when we talk about beach towns. So we're going to take in a few more shots before we head to our first property. I think you're going to enjoy this tour. Come along, let's start the journey now. Here we are at the first stop on the corner of Asbury and New York Ave. We are literally 2 blocks away from Main Street. And we're gonna flash some Main Street footage just so you see what Main Street's all about. Leads all the way through the community down to the beach. All of your shops, your cafes, any kind of retail, restaurants are along the Main Street stretch. So the owner of this property is just steps away from all of that activity in the heart of the community. So this property is a single family and it is described as pretty much a fixer-upper. So as you can get some feel for some of this footage that will give you a little close-up in terms of the shots, you'll see that definitely needs some love. But given location, again, this is what it comes down to. Location, it gives value because much of what we have in this area of Ocean Grove, you're talking about several properties at the $1 million point and up. This one listed at $715, basically sold at $725, 12 days on the market. All right, so in all these sales that we're accounting for right now pretty much have been over the past anywhere from about 30 to 45 days. So this is all relatively recent and we're right now end of January 2024. So this one, I'm gonna flash up the details right here so you'll see all of the specifics on bedrooms and baths, but it's more so what someone is going to do with it when they go in, because they can always create bigger bedroom spaces. These are older homes, as you can probably imagine. A lot of this is pre-war, pre-World War II construction. So the sizes of a living room, for example, and a bedroom would have been much different back then than it is today. So some people who go in, they're going to make some structural changes to maybe expand some bedrooms and open up some other spaces to make more open concepts. So I wouldn't fixate too much on the current bedroom bath configuration because that can always change depending on the preference of the owner. But this is first stop giving you a feel for what a single family fixer-upper looks like here in Ocean Grove. So enjoy some more footage and I'll see you at the next stop. We're at stop number 2 in front of 11 Onland Street. Right behind me, we're going to get some close-up footage for you again on this one. This is kind of a Craftsman-Style cottage. We're going to flash up a few interior photos for these as well, so you can see some of that interior footage, not footage I should say with video, but you'll get my point. Some interior photos to give you a feel for the spaces. This one on the market 17 days. List price and sale price were the same, $999,000. So if you've seen some of my previous episodes, you know the sweet spot is to stay under $1 million, because here in New Jersey, once you eclipse $1 million, there is what we call the mansion tax that is both seller and buyer have to pay 1%, right? A 1% tax on the sale price if it's at $1 million or more. So they avoided that in this case. Lot size on this one, 30 by 45, sounds really, really small, right? But this is Ocean Grove. As you see some of the street footage that we're gonna show you, you're gonna notice properties are very close together. Many of them are directly up on the sidewalk. You don't see extensive front yards and backyards. There are some, but there's not a lot. So the proximity between neighbors is pretty close, but again, it's a beach community where you have a lot of people that are looking to reside close to the beach. So that part is not uncommon. So this one was a 4-bed, bath and a half, pretty much move-in ready. Very nice aesthetic to it. And we are, as I'm gonna flash in just a minute, we are less than half a block from the beach. I'm looking at some sand dunes right now, so you'll be able to see that in just a second. So this is, again, an example of what I mentioned in that first stop, how many of these properties are $1 million plus. So if you find something in 700, 800, you don't find many, but you will find some in that range that need some love. It is worth the investment. That equity pays off in the long run. So we're gonna take a look at some more little street footage and a close-up on the property, and we'll see you at the final stop. Stick around for that one. That's the investor special. You wanna see it. So here we are, last stop. As I mentioned, this is the investor special. This property, the Melrose behind me, this is actually owned by my broker. He bought this as an investment. It is 12 bedroom, 11 baths. All right, so right now, if you just look up the Melrose online, I just checked to see what the prices are right now, just out of curiosity. We're in January, all right, so you can get $68 a night on this right now, totally off season, middle of the week. Once we hit mid-May, absolutely, by the time we are at Memorial Day and later, every property in this area of Ocean Grove is going to be probably in the neighborhood of, on the low end, and this is just for a room, all right? Nothing, no frills, not like it's an apartment or, you know, something that's expansive. You're looking minimum $300 a night, all right, for summertime type of rentals. So you can just do the math. If you have 12 bedrooms in that summertime frame, this becomes like a machine in terms of proceeds that it can produce. So when it comes to short-term rentals, a lot of people think I'm gonna try to get a condo in a building, or they think maybe multifamily. Either case, a lot of residents in these buildings, a lot of HOAs in these buildings, put restrictions to prevent issues of noise, people who are not gonna care for the property, and security. Right, so those are factors that tend to weigh against HOAs or even a small multifamily building that was converted into condos, giving the green light for short-term rental. If you own an entire property, you own the entire multifamily, you own the building, such as the Melrose, it becomes perfect for short-term rental, which you need in a beach community like this to get the proceeds that you want, because summer is prime time. People will pay the premium to be at a beach location like this. So we're gonna shoot some footage that you're gonna take in just in a few seconds. I'm looking just over to my left. I am looking at Asbury Park. We're gonna see the walking path and the bridge, the walking bridge that takes you over to Asbury Park. And of course, we are 2 blocks down from the beach. So this is an excellent location. If you're, again, looking for an opportunity to get a few nights in at the beach, Melrose is something you want to take a look at. So that's going to wrap up our Ocean Grove episode. Stay tuned. We have more shore destinations that are coming up, and we, as I mentioned before, we have some South Jersey ones as well. So we're going to eventually get to some of the freehold, which is, I know some people still have that argument about Central Jersey. So see, freehold is kind of central, but we're going to hit Toms River and some of the surrounding areas there as well. All right, so be sure to click like, subscribe, notification bell, stay in tune with the content. Check out, again, as I've mentioned before, I am hosting my own podcast for New Jersey Living. So there is opportunity for you to get more detailed information as we take deeper dives on specific topics in the podcast, which is real estate, obviously, but we also have content on different townships, different restaurants, different businesses. We have a lot of interesting footage that is really community specific on the podcast. So that's a great opportunity to get some more information. So thank you again for joining. In the meantime, stay safe and stay tuned to New Jersey Living.